Welcome to On the Sidelines, the show that discusses sports and how sports intersects our lives. I'm your host, Paul McGrath, and I am glad that you can join us for this show. For this show, we are going back in the sports time machine to the year 1980, when the Westborough High School won its first state sports championship. The team? The varsity baseball team. I am pleased to have as our guest the co-captain of that first state championship team, Carl Oberg. Carl, welcome to On the Sidelines.
Well, glad to be here. This
Glad
place
to
is
have you.
Neat.
So we're going to talk about Westborough High and the baseball team, but I believe, grew up in Westborough, and did you have a love of baseball, play baseball, growing up in Westborough? Where, when, or how did Carl Oberg and baseball evolve?
We grew up on Adams Street in Westborough.
Yeah.
And back then, when you were a kid, you didn't care about what's on TV. You just said who's in the neighborhood, who can play. And I was fortunate to have a next door neighbor, the Whittles, who ended up, Whitey was our center fielder for the 80 team. So he was next door. We just, any sport, sport of the season we played, but baseball was number one. And even if it was snow on the ground and they plowed the roads, I'd call up and I'd say, what are you doing? And he'd say nothing. I said, grab your glove, we'll just go play catch, and we'd play in the street, even though we'd play hit the glove and hit the bat. And we always had organized games. Warren's father, Mr. Whittles, was a baseball fanatic growing up. He loved the Boston Braves and Warren Spahn and Bob Elliott. He named my friend Whitey Warren after Warren Spahn. So, I mean, we were baseball basically 24/7. The other sports would come in our lives, but it was all about baseball.
Because back then, I think we played baseball, we would play it in the street or make up games. You didn't necessarily need a baseball field. Or if you didn't have enough kids, you couldn't hit the right because there was no right fielder. I mean,
100%. I mean, and you'd sit there and go, what do you want to do? Let's play hit the bat. Older people certainly know that. You hit it as far as you can. If you catch it, then you lay the bat down, and if you hit it, then you get to be the next hitter.
Yeah.
And the object was you wanted to keep hitting them. So we tried to smash it over each other's head, and we didn't realize we were learning to turn on the ball and run and catch, or if you hit a grounder, we would charge them because you wanted to have a shorter throw to hit the bat. So you're learning all these skills, and then we'd just we'd be bored and we'd say, okay, let's play hit the glove. The ball has to go in the middle of the glove, and you change your glove angles, and we would do that over and over.
But that helped your accuracy.
Oh my goodness. And I did that when my kids were small, would play hit the glove, because I knew, it was like your mental, you were starting to locate where the ball was, and if you were gonna pitch or throw, I mean, it really helped out. We would just, we were fanatics from early on, and we were always very serious about whatever team we were playing on.
Oh yeah, sometimes we would. I don't know about in Westborough here, but we wouldn't have enough guys to have two teams. But we'd play something called scrub. Scrub was when you got up, and if you got a hit, you could stay up. But if you didn't get a hit, out in the field you went.
We played the same, and our neighborhood was wonderful. We'd always have we'd call it an automatic pitcher. It usually be a parent that would throw. Nice and easy and let you hit, and then both teams would play, and that way it would be fair that, there wasn't one of us throwing, fast and young kids couldn't hit it, and the parent would, make sure that everyone had their chance. But we were just playing all the time, We would, just like your parents would say, you dump your books down, you might grab something to eat quick, and you just, before your mother could set the rules, you go, okay, bye, we'll see you later, and you'd come home and eat supper, then you'd do your homework,
Now, did you play Little League here?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're Comey Oil.
Comey Oil.
And my recollection is always the same. It was just almost like high school baseball. You had a game, you thought about who you were playing, and you said, what's their record? And, the goal was to win, and the goal was to be the champions. And so Mr. Whittles was our coach, and you know, when the game started, all our friends from school, I know personally I was like, they weren't my friends until after the game. But, you know, it was, we were serious about our stuff. You know, those were the days when, you know, you had to make the play or try to. And, you know, your parents didn't say, you know, oh, that's fine, that's okay, don't worry about it. You know, we all took it serious. It was fun.
And I think baseball was a bigger game than it is now.
For
the kids. Well, that's going to lead us up to high school, and you graduated in 1980.
Yes.
So one thing we did is we said, okay, we took a yearbook from that era, and we have the sponsors, some of the sponsors in that era, and we're going to say, okay, who's still here? What was it like in Westborough in 1980? So I don't know if you remember some of these. Maybe some of our viewers will, but we're going to start off, and this was the ad taken right out of the yearbook, and it was the German Tap. And it says Westborough, Mass, telephone number, no address, but the German Tap. Now, the German Tap was organized on March 12th, 1974, and it was dissolved on April 10th, 1981. So what happened to the German Tap? Well, here we go. It became JP's Restaurant.
That's what I thought.
JP's Restaurant with Joe Orlando for many years. It's just changed hands recently.
Right.
And it's in the West Meadow Plaza. So German Tap, JP's Pubs. That was back in that time. Excuse me, the next one we have, congratulations to the class of 1979, VR Corporation, Westborough, Massachusetts. Well, where the heck was...
I never knew what VARC was, but they did sponsor like Little League teams. Like, were they out by the railroad tracks?
VR Corporation. We're going to show you right now.
Oh.
It was the old the new fire station.
Okay.
Of course, the VAC was at 50 Milk Street, organized on October 1st, 1945, and it would be dissolved in 1990. And now the fire station has the entire block there from Grove Street to Phillip Street.
So back to my question, what did VARC do?
They were, I don't know, some kind of a manufacturing company, I believe.
Okay.
I did look up I didn't find the articles of the organization, I guess, but they were organized October 1st, 1945, so those records aren't up on the archives yet. So you stumped me there.
Okay.
But I know there was some kind of, I think, production or commercial. Okay, number next. We have modern hardware. If you need your paint, glass, hand and power tools, there you go, and other items. And they have their address, 32 to 34 Milk Street. And the Losapios, Frank Losapio and his father, had modern hardware, organized November 26, 1975. And that company would be dissolved in December 31st, 1990. And what's there now? Well, right there, we have it. It was Bill Bloom had his law firm there for many years.
Yeah, I remember
and now
that.
it's Massa's Professional Group and Gene Ficarro Pottery. So that was where your hardware store was, one of your hardware stores, because the next one, here we go, we have Swan Hardware.
Now we all remember Swan Hardware.
Remember Swan Hardware, 30 West Main Street. Nice ad, local business. They were organized on July 1st, 1957. They changed their name to Michael's Decorating on June 30th, 1987, and the company was dissolved August 31st, 1998.
Now that was owned by Bob Malone for many years.
That's correct.
And his son was Mike Malone.
Yeah.
And he played, he was a senior when I was a junior. So I played ball with Mike throughout many, many years.
You know the Malones and Swan
Very
Hardware,
well.
yeah.
And Mr. Malone, he was a coach throughout all those years, and he was just a great guy. Really was.
Yeah.
Really, he gave his time. He was always sponsored and a real Westboro
Well, I
guy.
can remember him playing in Dennis O'Neill's Old Man Softball League, so that was
Yeah, and basketball leagues too.
basketball league, yeah.
Yeah.
So that Swan Hardware eventually become the Subway sandwich shop, but now, new and improved, we have the Coop.
That's pretty good too.
Right
Good
next-
wings. Yeah, that's good.
So that's right next to Town Hall. Okay, keeping in the food area here, we have an ad from good luck to the class of 79, Dacey's Diner. Dacey's Diner was located at 7 East Main Street. That building was built around 1940. And in 1980, it was around the time that you played ball for the high school. It was owned by the Antonio and Crump families. Harry Crump, who played football for the Patriots, he was part owner. And then it became Home Plate Diner. And where are we now? There it is. It's the Westborough Korean restaurant. So through many changes, but still a restaurant.
Yeah, the building hasn't changed too much.
Hasn't changed too much. Maybe
You used to get fish and chips there.
different size. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. My dad did.
So that was back in the day. All right, moving along across the street, we have Mini Farms, the downtown convenience store, 16 East Main Street. Now, back when, if you research the records here in Westborough, that was a two-family house built around 1920.
Okay.
And I remember talking to Charlotte Spinney, who many people know. Her mother worked there at the restaurant. Later on, Joe Antonio had a package store there. And then Mini Farms was organized by the Ashley family on September 3rd, 1975. And they had the business through the 1990s. So what do we have for Mini Farms now? We have this building, which is the headquarters for the K-Roos family businesses. They own the Westborough Q-Mart at 10 Milk Street and other convenience stores throughout the Commonwealth. So there's the old Mini Farms.
Okay.
Any memories of Mini Farms?
I do.
Yeah.
I remember going in there, and I don't know if Lowe's is going to be on your Lowe's variety.
Lowe's, we don't have Lowe's.
They didn't sponsor.
They didn't show sponsor. We're not going to show
But
it.
yeah, but you know, that was another one downtown. Would go to Lowe's.
Yeah.
You know.
So here we go. Next is a little bit different. No address, no nothing. Just congratulations, Tufts Machine Shop.
Yep.
Very local business. The Tufts family had it. 53 East Main Street. It was organized on September 24th, 1952, and that business was dissolved on March of 1986. And there we have it, the new Cumberland Farms convenience and gas station.
Yeah.
So the town has changed a little bit
Yeah.
since that time. Okay, next up on the hit parade, Carlson Daniel Insurance Agency. It says 10 West Main. We have a different address. But that was organized on October 17th, 1958, and it was located there through the 1980s. And what have we now? CVS Pharmacy. The real estate is owned by a company out of Woodland Hills, California, and of course we have CVS as the tenant.
I know. I had my insurance through Carlson Daniel.
Carlson Daniel,
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the local insurance agency back then.
And like and I was I had to buy my own insurance for my car. If I wanted a car, my parents, you have to get your own gas and insurance. Unlike kids today, including my own two kids, I think we still own their cars and they're in the mid-20s, so a little harder back then.
Okay, next we have, and this is very apropos, I think, we have the congratulations 1979, your Westborough Dairy Queen. And what's more apropos than the kid with the baseball bat?
I love it.
So
That is
there
the
they
minutes.
are. The Dairy Queen at 18 Summer Street, and that building was put up based on the records around 1950. So, and there it is today. It probably looks a little bit different. Now, when you played, did any of the teams go to Dairy Queen after the game?
Oh, that was a staple. And that was another thing back in the day when you say everyone today gets trophies. If you won,
If you won.
you got an ice cream. That was incentive. I mean, really and truly. And if you lost, you go home.
Yeah.
So, times were rough back then, and you'd fought for that ice cream, But no, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Go to Dairy Queen and 35. I think they gave us 35 cents. Everyone could have 35-cent ice
Up
cream,
to-
and that was
yeah,
was a good medium-sized ice cream.
That was a good size cone, yeah.
It was pretty good. Oh yeah.
So it didn't take much incentive for you, huh?
No,
You were probably playing to win versus the ice cream, knowing you.
still do. No matter what we're doing, it's the way I am.
Okay, we're down to the last one, and here it is. Yulman's Homemade Ice Cream, Route 30, Westborough. Now, according to the records, that building was put up around, I think it was 1920th. I don't know, we don't have that. The current owner is Richard Smith, and if you look at Yulman's, it's a little bit different than it would have looked like back in those days. But that one, a little bit further out after a Little League game. So
Yeah, we went to the Dairy Queen. That's all
Yeah.
we knew.
So I think looking at these, what Westborough was like then, now you had more family-owned or locally owned businesses. They're able to be sponsors. And I think one thing we've learned from looking at this, if you want a business that continues, be an ice cream stand. I mean, Dairy Queen and Ullman's are still here.
No, it's great.
So,
and you remember what Westborough was like, especially on weekends. It was the quietest town.
Yeah.
On Sundays, every place was closed, and it was like a ghost town.
Yeah.
You drive through the Rotary, and there was no one around, and it was kind of nice.
so there we have it. What Westborough was like, or a little piece of it, around the 1980 time. Okay, so now you're in high school. You get to be on the high school team, and senior year comes.
Yep.
And the first 2 years that you were on varsity, winning teams, losing teams, so-so teams.
When I was a sophomore, and I did get to play, fortunately, we were a good team. We did make the playoffs. I think we were one and done. I thought we were a better team than, I thought we were going to go a little further. There were, good players on the team, but it just didn't happen, And the next year, junior year, my recollection was, we were a 500 team. And I know playing, I wasn't happy at all. I just felt like, almost, why are we losing these games? And would play a team, I don't know, say we played Algonquin and would lose it just grinded me. I said that we shouldn't have lost that game, but we were at that stage, and I've said it when I coached my kids, we weren't ready to win. We didn't do the right things to win, and I knew it as a player. We made mental mistakes, and there's only so much you can do. But I know when we'd talk about the games afterwards, we would say, we didn't lay down the bunt, we didn't do this, and it was what it was. But by the time it was, I don't know if you're going to lead into our senior year.
We're going to get to your senior year. But
by the time that was coming, I mean, we had grown up. We were now the seniors.
So you had a core group of your buddies, shall I say?
We had a great core group,
Yeah.
and it was just a feeling like from day one of practice, day one, and we were inside the gym. Like we were going to take care of business this year. And you know what? And that's just, that's how we started. It wasn't like, hey, maybe we'll win. It was like, we're going to win. It
was a mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. And
now, did you have the same coach all these years?
Oh, we had, yes.
Yeah.
Coach Doyle.
Coach Doyle, yeah.
We know him as Doyle now. As we're older, we're still very friendly with him. He's come to my kids' graduation parties, and he's a wonderful guy. We still call him Coach Doyle, but we'll probably talk about him later. But he was the, more of a military type coach. You'd run through a wall for him. He knew how to praise you, but he also made you work very, very, very hard. And by the time the end of the season came, which we'll probably talk about, but you could realize why he practiced the way he practiced. He practiced to put you in a position to win. And, there were long practices, cold weather, and you said, I just want to get off this field right now, and we'd do it again.
Now, where was the high school was it on West Main, or was it down on?
No, it was exactly the same setup, baseball field in the same place.
Ruggles Street now.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those were the hard practices there. Yeah.
Hard practices. The infield was stone dust, if anyone ever played on stone dust or don't know what it's like playing on stone dust. One of the drills we did was a sliding drill in the 40-degree April, and would, come across second and slide into third, and it was like sliding on concrete. And then when we'd take our
shot,
shot,
get a raspberry.
We'd go in the showers and we'd just compare raspberries, and that's the way it was. A raspberry was an open sore on the side of your leg.
A badge of honor.
Yeah, it's the way it was. You had to take your licks.
So I don't know what you remember here. We'll just, but the first game you played, it was on April 12th. We have it here. You played Framingham South. You won that game 4-1, and the pitcher was Carl Oberg.
Well, the backstory to that game is we went to play Framingham South.
Framingham South.
We drove there and we played.
Yeah.
And we started. We were in the second inning, and it started to snow.
Let's see, April 12th. Okay, I'm reading.
Okay.
If I have the date correct, yeah.
So the first game was probably more like April 4th. But anyway, it started to snow, and the umpire in the second inning, and I was on the mound. He said, "That's it, can't go." And it was snowing pretty good. Of course, I was unhappy because that's what I did. I was throwing very well, and I'm like, we can play through this. It was coming down hard.
What's your problem?
So long story short, we got on the bus, went home, and then we came back there again. And a few days later, and I think we had to start the whole game again. And
Oh, I see. So April 12th was the replay of the
yeah.
Oh,
So
I see.
I think we beat them 4-1.
4-1, and you're pretty good on that one. Yeah, 4-1.
Yep.
So
A lot of the box, we did good. They were a good team and good start.
You did. You had a tie with Algonquin, 2-2. You beat Grafton 4-1. You beat Neshoba. Again, you were the winning pitcher, 7-5. So you had and then you beat Hudson at Hudson, 8-0 with Danny Furbish pitching.
Danny he did a good job.
Yeah. And then we have our first loss. I don't know if you remember this loss, but 4-0. You played Milford, and Milford always had a strong team, I think.
Always. They had an incredible team. You have to understand, today, Westborough, I think, has close to 20,000 people, give or take. I think, and you probably know more than I did, I think we had half that back then.
I would guess pretty close to half that. Yeah.
So, we had, 8 or 9, 10,000 tops, and we would play, Milford, Marlborough, Shrewsbury, Algonquin. Algonquin was, Southborough, Northborough. And we did lose once to them. We lost once to Shrewsbury. We lost once to Marlborough and once to Milford. Those are our only 4 losses, but we also beat them as well. And Milford is really a city. And there's a lot that, big high school with a lot to choose from. So, when we played them, that you have to really focus. And they had a coach there. His name was Charlie Stand. He came with the bright red pants because Milford was red, and he was very loud. And, if you like winning and losing, you really wanted to beat Milford.
Well, they were always a baseball power, especially in high school, a Legion ball, wherever it was.
Yep. No, Milford was
the team. So Milford, a good team.
Very good.
They defeat you, but you probably learn something, or there's always something to learn in a game, good, bad, or indifferent. So we go through. We beat Marlborough. We beat Clinton 4-2. We beat Algonquin 13-9 with you pitching. And then another away game, Shrewsbury 3, Westborough 2. Danny Furbish pitched. Again, a loss on the road. It seemed sometimes the road
I remember
tough.
that game. That was a Saturday game. I don't know why we played Saturday, but we had to play it. Maybe it got rained out. But another game, I think the bus ride home was quiet. We probably didn't get a hit at the right time. We were right there to win. We just couldn't make it happen that day. So I do remember the bus ride in particular being a little
It was a long ride.
a little quiet, and when you feel as though you could beat a team and you don't, it doesn't sit that well.
Yeah. But that's why you play the games. You beat Hudson, then you beat then at home, May 15th, according to the records, we have Westborough 4, Milford 3.
There's a hell of a
guy
game.
named Oberg pitching.
Yeah, that was
you got back at him.
9-inning game.
Yeah.
And I remember that it was getting dark, and struck out the last guy. But it was a hell of a game. Third baseman for our team, Casey Lyman, who wasn't playing a lot, he got a big hit. It was a 3-3 game. I was on second, and he ripped one up the middle.
And you kept going.
Barely made it, But
were you known for your speed?
Was I known for my speed? I never got caught stealing.
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't the fastest guy.
I can imagine. Yeah.
You know, I just had a will, a will to get there before the ball. But no, but you know, one nice dynamic of our team. We had a core guys who made it happen, but there was always somebody came up with a big hit, a big play.
Yeah.
In that game, Casey did.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
And that's why we started to get that mojo going. We said, you know what? When we showed up, at least I did, and I know a lot of other guys did. I felt like we're winning. We're going to win. We're going to win. And if we lost, we only lost 4. We weren't too happy about it, but we just felt like we're going to find a way to win this game.
Yeah, the attitude goes a long way. Let's see, you beat Maynard, then you came back and defeated Shrewsbury 2-0.
Yep.
Bob Romo was the pitcher on that one.
Yep.
Another close game, but game you win.
We played a lot of close games.
Yeah. What do we got here? Then we go to Marlborough. I don't know if you want to talk about this one. May 20th, 1980. Guy named Oberg, they got him on the mound. And I'll read the final score. Marlborough 10, Westborough 5.
Oh, God. It took me probably a week to get over that, but it was just one of those days when you go out there, you just didn't have it.
It happened, yeah.
And you left everything like too high. Your curveball was just not working. Nothing worked. We got behind early, and that was our worst game I pitched. It was the worst game our team played. We weren't good that day. The way it was.
Yeah. Now, you pitched. Did you learn a curveball, throw fastball? You know, everyone's talking about the arm, and then now everybody has Tommy John surgery. Where did you learn how to pitch?
Honestly,
you used heave it or
no. My style was I had a good fastball.
Yeah.
But back to when we were kids, we'd play hit the glove. I was fortunate if the catcher set up inside, I could hit it. Outside, I could hit it. I could throw a curveball straight over the top, and then I would go down and I would sling it, and I would do the sweeping ones. I enjoyed, and I threw a knuckleball to lefties, and I just liked doing different arm angles, and I loved to pitch because it was a little competition, you and the hitter. A lot of times I would fake like I'm doing a knuckle, like I'm trying to squeeze it, then I'd throw a fastball. I mean, it was like, just fun stuff. But I was capable of just throwing strikes. I didn't like walking people. So I'd rather have them hit the ball than I'd give up a number of hits in the game, because if it was a 3-1 count, I would just say, all right, pal, here it comes. I'm going to throw your fastball down the pipe. Let's see if you can hit it,
Well, the good pitchers let you hit the ball. Jim Palmer, everyone thought they went 4 for 4 with Jim Palmer.
Yeah.
And they were 0 for 4.
Yeah.
He let them hit it, but they didn't hit it well.
Well, we won't get into good batting averages, but there's a lot of failure in baseball hitting, right?
Yeah, 300, you fail 7 times.
And then when I did help out the Sutton Varsity Baseball team, and I would really try to, I would say, let them, when the count went in a certain way, I'd say, let them hit it. We've got a lot of players out there. They want to field the ball for you. Can't defend a walk. And that's how I felt growing up. I didn't want to give up a walk.
Yeah, they talk about the immaculate inning. 9 strikes, you get them out. To me, an immaculate inning, 3 pitches. that would be an immaculate inning.
Yeah.
I have a different view on that. Anyway, so we got that one out of our system, I guess.
Yes, we did.
We go to Clinton, win 13-3. We go to Maynard and win 12-6. And our last game of the year is at Algonquin, of a guy named Oberg pitching again, and we lose our last game of the season.
That one really grinded my gears too. I wasn't happy about that. And the reason I wasn't happy, we knew we were going to go into around the playoffs. It felt like we were just a little bit going through the motions. But at the end of the game, it was another 9-inning game. There was runners on second and third, and I got robbed by the center fielder. I'll never forget. The guy made this crazy catch, and that was the end of the game. And I was just like, because when I hit it, I says, okay. I ran out of there going like, all right, we're up. We're going to be up 1, and I'm just going to hold, and we're going to win. And it didn't happen. So, you know,
But
so be it.
But that was the end
Good
of
play.
the regular season.
Yep.
We end up with a record of 13-4-1.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
even remember the tie, but I guess I don't know.
It says Algonquin.
Yeah.
Where do I have Algonquin 2-2 on April 16th? Maybe he had another snow day, or
Yeah.
maybe it snowed.
Got dark or something.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But that was your last game, and it was your last loss. We're going to get to the playoffs. But
Yep.
before we get to the playoffs, we're going to take a break. And we haven't done photos from on the sidelines for a while, so we'll get back into that, and we're going to do a little bit on collectibles. If you're into collectibles or memorabilia, I'm going to talk about some that I do, Carl will, and as some of you may know, I like to take pictures and see if I can get them autographed by certain people. So this one here, this fellow's name is Frank Thomas. He played, that there is his New York Met uniform. And he would hit, in 1962, the New York Mets' initial year, he would hit 34 home runs for a team that was lost 120 games. So to do that for a last place team, he was a power hitter. He was born in June 11th, 1929. And before he became a baseball player, he was in the seminary for 4.5 years. But I was in Cooperstown in 2015 for Pedro's Martinez induction. And if you love baseball, and if you want to have a good time, go to Cooperstown during Hall of Fame induction week. You have the induction, but the days before, especially the Saturday, they close off Cooperstown. The whole street is closed off. Baseball players all over, Hall of Famers, non-Hall of Famers, autographs. It's just, you never know who you're going to see in the street. And to me, the best part is in the evening, they have a parade of the Hall of Famers. High school band, it's like old-time Americana. If you love baseball, try to get to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony or day or the weekend. If you don't make Sunday the induction, go on Saturday, see the parade. Doesn't cost anything. So the next one is here. I took a picture of Frank, and this was in 2015, and he's signing pictures there, and this is in the street in Cooperstown, New York. So we have that, and I happened to, this summer, be watching, somehow surfing the YouTube, and there was Howie Rose. Howie Rose is the announcer for the broadcaster for the New York Mets. And who was he interviewing but Frank Thomas? Now, this picture was 2015. The interview was around 2017, 18, somewhere there. And Frank talked about the baseball, and he talked about signing autographs, and that all the money he gets from signing autographs goes to a couple of charities for kids suffering cancer in South Carolina to help them along. And I said, well, that's pretty good. And at the end of the interview, Frank said, well, you know, I was born in Pittsburgh, still live in Pittsburgh. I'm in the book, and here's my telephone number. So I said, okay. So the day before the All-Star game this year, I call Frank up, and sure enough, he answers the phone. So I said, Frank, how are you? He said, well, you know, I fell down the other week, and I've got a walker, and I told my family I'd know when time comes for assisted living, so I'm looking for a place now. And we talked about that. We talked about baseball. We talked about this, that, and the other thing. We just had a great chat. So I told him, I said, Frank, I'm going to send you a picture. Will you autograph it? He said, oh, I'd be glad to. I said, how about a donation to your charities? Just make the check out to me. I'll get it to them. I said, okay. So I sent him the picture, and this is what came back. Best wishes, Frank Thomas. But then he sent, along with that picture, he sent this long note, and he says, hi, Paul, since you sent me a check, I'm sending you the collectible 4-home photo. This is a letter above I send to everyone who sends me cards or baseball or 8x10 photos to sign for them to keep in their files in case they want to order more photos to help these two charities who receive all the money. Thank you for your kindness, Paul, and God bless you for helping these children who have been dealt a bad hand in life. This photo will be sent in a different envelope. And this is all that small writing down there that I'm reading. And he signs it Frank Thomas, the original one, 1951 to 1966. So we'll get to what the original one is in a minute, but he signs it the original one. So it was a couple of weeks later that I get another one. And let's see, and there's the picture. And he sends me this picture, and he says, Paul, here's the collectible photo where I made baseball history when I hit the 4th home run in succession by these 4 Milwaukee Brave players. This is the order the home runs were hit, with Eddie Matthews hitting the first one off pitcher Jim Maloney in the 7th inning in Cincinnati. Hank Aaron hit the next one off Maloney. They changed pitchers and brought in Marshall Bridges to pitch to Joe Adcock. I hit the 4th one off of Marshall Bridges. If you cannot read my writing, there is a sticker on back. Hang it up in your house so your friends can see it, and maybe we'll order one of these to help my 2 charities. I sent the sheet that I sent to everyone who sends me cards and pictures to autograph in with your other envelope. Again, thanks, Paul, and God bless you. The kids thank you. Sincerely, Frank Thomas, the original one, 1951 to 1966. So when you send for an autograph, you never know what you're going to get back. You never know what's going to happen. Now, the writing on the picture, if we can move up back, Aiden, on the back, or it says right there on the right, on June 8, 1961, I made history when I hit the 4th home run in succession in 1 inning by these 4 Milwaukee Brave players. First time the feat has ever been done in Major League Baseball. Frank Thomas, the original one. And some other facts for those that love baseball. Eddie Matthews in the picture. He was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1978 with 512 home runs. Hank Aaron, Hall of Fame 1982, 755 home runs. Joe Adcock on May 26, 1959, he broke up Harvey Haddock's 12-inning perfect game. So when these gentlemen got up, no one had done this feat. The 4 of them hit a home run. The next man up, the 5th batter, who could have made it a 5 homers in a row, was a 20-year-old rookie catcher for the Milwaukee Braves.
Okay.
Any idea, Carl? I'm not going to put you on the spot here. A 20-year-old rookie for the Milwaukee Braves, 5th guy, he comes up.
1961.
1961.
No, I don't know.
You're going to know when I tell you.
I'm sure.
Joe Torre.
Oh, no kidding.
Joe Torre.
What did he do? Strike out?
He grounded out third base to first. So, and the Braves lost the game 10-8, and the losing pitcher, Warren Spahn.
Okay.
So when you get these, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You never know.
You figure 4 home runs in a row in a game.
Yep.
You wondered how much they won by, and
Right.
hear that they lost.
But you
never
forget
know.
4 in a row, there was nobody on.
Yeah.
So that's what happens.
Yep.
Now, you learn this has happened now 8 times. They were the first. The Boston Red Sox,
I was at that game.
April 2nd, 2007. Okay.
Nope, I wasn't at that game. I think it was. I went to a 3-in-a-row game. That was.
Well, they hit 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Any idea? You want to give me any ideas?
And wait, was it?
April 7th, 2007, the year they won the World Series.
Jeez, I should know this one, I guess.
So you might know some of these players.
Yeah.
They got 4 in a row.
Manny?
Manny was the first one. Very good. I didn't ask for the order, but you're very good.
All right, so he probably hit 4th or 3rd. How about Big Papi?
No,
Oh, okay. How about Lowell?
he hit the 3rd one.
Okay.
The MVP player at the World Series. Yep, Mike Lowell was the 3rd. The other one was a outfielder, another outfielder.
Right fielder?
Right fielder.
Trot Nixon?
No, guy after him. J.D. Drew.
J.D. Drew. Well, we all forget.
And I'll give you the last one. I think you'll get the last one. He's the captain, Jason, catcher.
I think you just said Jason
Yeah, Jason
Varitek.
gave that one away. So now the real trivia question: who was the fifth batter that could have set the record?
Well, Varitek hit, probably 8th in the lineup. So,
Tough one. It's a tough one.
second baseman?
This guy was traded to the Red Sox on June 20th in the year 2006 for Bronson Arroyo. He was supposed to be a power hitter. They would trade him on August 17th of 2007, so he never got to the World Series. They traded him for a guy named Chris Carter, who played 13 games for the Red Sox in 2008 and 9.
Well, he got a World Series ring, right?
No, he got traded before the World Series.
Okay.
Oh, Carter? No, he didn't play that year. The guy's name, Willie Mo Pena.
Oh, yeah.
And
Remember
Willie
the name.
Mo was swinging for the fences. You know why?
Because that's all he knew how to do, I
He
think.
struck out.
Yeah.
So there you go. But again, collectibles, you do something, you never know what you're going to get back.
That's right.
So there's Frank Thomas, 1990 to 2000. So that was Frank Thomas. Now, we kept saying the original one. If we can do the next, there he is.
Yeah.
This is Frank Thomas, who played from 1990 to 2008, inducted in the Hall of Fame. He had a career batting average of 301. He was at bat 8,199 times and hit 521 home runs. Now, if you're a real Red Sox fan, that number 521 should ring a bell, because the Red Sox had a fellow that hit 521 home runs. He played from 1939 to 1960. He was in the Hall of Fame in 1966. His batting average was 344, and it only took him 7,066 at-bats to get the 521.
I think that would be Ted Williams.
Ted Samuel Williams. So anyway, those are some of the fun things you do. And
Yeah.
Carl, you do collectibles too. So what have you got here?
I do. I don't know. I like collectibles.
Yeah.
I like racing collectibles, and I like baseball collectibles. But when my son Peter was younger, we would buy some balls online, and we went to Cooperstown, and we had a couple balls signed, and had fun things. And he knew, I like Carl Yastrzemski. He was one of my idols growing up. So we did get actually I got it for my son. It's a rookie card of Carl Yastrzemski. But I just liked, he really was only 5'10", I think, but he would take this colossal swing, and he played with a passion. He, was so cool looking. I told you out there, he had his wristbands, and he had some big sideburns, and he was just very fiery, and I just liked everything about him. And so I've got a rookie card, and we have other baseballs, but I like Yaz. He was my guy.
So that would be, what year would that be? 60?
1960.
1960.
1960
Yeah.
rookie card, and he was right after Ted Williams, and that's when they got into the string of. I think Jim Rice was after Yastrzemski.
Right, and Ted Williams, and then
So there's 3 Hall of Famers in a row.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think Mike Greenwell maybe, and he
Greenwell,
was a good player as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Red Sox always had a pretty strong left fielder.
And number 8 was special to you, but
Love number 8.
Yeah.
I love number 8, but I think so did every other kid. So when it was time to choose jerseys as a sophomore, I got, there was probably H2O and another one. So I took 2, and I kept it, but I wanted 8.
well, you got 2 Bogarts. I mean, not a bad. You can say,
Yes.
You knew Bogey was coming down the road 30 years later, whatever it was.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. So do you collect rookie card? Anything in particular that you try to?
Honestly, I do know you are a major collector because I've seen some of your stuff. Most of my collections are of racing and race drivers and race cars and so forth. Baseball, it's spattering. When something comes along, I grab it. I go, oh, there's a Pete Rose baseball. I mean, not a lot of people like Pete Rose, but he was someone important in the game, and so we have a handful of items.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the connection you have with my first guest here On the Sidelines with George Summers.
Yeah, no, he was a good friend of mine.
And he was in racing,
Oh.
and of course his father was the American League umpire. So there's always a connection here somehow.
Yep, always a connection. Yeah, Georgie Summers' father was a major league umpire, and he had some famous plays, as we talked about.
He did. Okay, well, so much for this. Let's get on to the high school playoffs.
Okay.
Exciting times.
Was.
You let's see what we have here. It started at Foley Stadium, and you were playing Westborough, first game, and Bob Romo was the pitcher. Any memories of your first game? You had to win the first game to move on.
That first game was our easiest of the 5 we played, and we jumped out to a decent lead, and the end of the game, I think, was the only one in the series where we might have got a tiny sloppy. But the score got a little closer than we like. But we finished it off. But I think at that point we knew we were going to do some damage in here. I didn't know how far we were going to go, but I felt like if we all focused, we're gonna do good.
Well, the line score was Westborough 10 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors. Westborough 7 runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors. So yeah, that if you read that. But Bob Romo won it, and all that matters is you win.
Bob was just a phenomenal athlete, a great pitcher. Once again, he was gritty. Bob would walk people, and I would come in from shortstop and go. He'd get someone 0-2, and all of a sudden he'd walk them, and I'd sit there and go, Bob, let him hit the ball, bud. We're going to field it. But that was the only little thing you could say about Bob. He had just this lefty ball that would just dump down, and people would just beat it right into the ground.
So he was a lefty.
He was a
and
lefty.
You're a righty, so we got lefty-righty going.
Yeah. Yep. And as the playoffs win, I'm sorry for some of the other guys on the team, but Bob and I pitched every inning of the 5 games.
Yeah, because we had Danny Furbish for the year. Danny went 2-1.
Yep.
And a fellow named Donovan went 4-0.
Did he really?
Well, these are you gave me the records. I just took them. So
good job by Tommy.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
They pitched during the season and really did a good job, obviously.
So I've got, how's this, Mary? I wrote this down from the note you gave me. The next game, June 12th, Foley Stadium, Westborough 3, Neshoba 0.
Nope.
I wrote down Oberg 8 2/3 inning winning pitcher and steals home.
Well,
what?
Okay.
Speedy
Well,
Gonzalez over here.
I'm just going to correct you because
Okay.
it's not exactly right.
Okay.
Okay. It was a 1-0 game.
Oh, 1. Okay.
It was 1-0 game, and I did not steal home.
Okay, I got to check my records here.
It's okay because that game is I keep reliving that game over, and I have a pretty good joke with my coach.
Yeah.
Because we got the run. I got on. I think I got on base. I think I walked and I stole second, and I was not the fastest guy. And I literally I slid around the glove that was waiting for me.
So the ball was there.
The ball came in there, and I slid outside of the ball, and I was safe. They were contesting it, but there was no doubt I was safe. And then third, I stole third, and then I think maybe our second baseman Tom Wolfenden hit a chopper up the middle, and I scored. But so that was a very that was a nail biting game for all who watched because Neshoba they were good. They were very, very good. And, the funny part was I pitched 8 2/3 innings.
Well, I got that part right. Okay.
Yep. I think they got 5 or 6 hits, but they were just chinky hits. There was a blooper,
it says 7. Very good. Very good, yeah.
and it was a ball that would just sneak through the infield. Not one good hit. And so in the 9th inning, someone got a hit off me. And again, I was ripping mad. And I got the ball back. The ball barely made it through the infield, and I was like, get the ball. And then I saw our coach walked out, and I respected him more than anyone in the world. But I got a little fiery. I said, what do you want?
8 2/3. Yeah.
And he says, great game. I'm gonna have to take that ball. And I said a couple bad words, and but again, I said, you're kidding. You can't. I got this. And he goes, nope. Great game. Gonna have to let Bob finish this off. And wow, that was the toughest. You almost had to. I had a kung fu grip on that ball, and and Bob did. Great call. Guy grounded out. Game over. And I think so. That game, Worcester Vote game, we scored a lot of runs. Now it's a 1-0 game, but we found a way to win. And we had that feeling we were going to do it.
Well, now you're playing teams that have won games too, so
Yep.
it's a little tougher. You go up against. You still at now. You go to Holy Cross.
Yep.
And you're playing Millbury. And I have 3-0 on this, and the game ends on a pickoff. Clifford to Coles. Any memory on that?
Yeah, well, another funny memory. I came in to relieve. I think I got a save from Bob. Bob pitched a great game. I came in, and a couple innings, I think, and I was just mowing him down. But my buddy who played center field, he got hit by a pitch. And
This is Whitey Whittle.
Whitey,
Yep.
yeah. So he got hit by a pitch, and we had 2 outs. And I remember the pitcher who hit him came up. And I was just dumping strikes in there, no problem. I says, well, 3-0. I think I'm going to plunk this guy.
Yeah.
So I plunked him, because, that's what you kind of did back then. And then he got picked off by Danny.
Oh, that was it. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, our catcher, Danny, is probably one of the best in the league. I think he played college baseball, but he would throw it down to second. That ball that would hurt your hand when you caught it.
Yeah.
And he could fire it.
Well, catcher can control the game.
Yep.
So we're still at Holy Cross. Now we're playing someone from Somerset, not even around here.
Yep.
And
Well, you remember Greg Gagne, who played? He played the year before in Somerset.
Somerset, yeah.
Yeah, they were a powerhouse team.
And I have a note here: Westborough 6, Somerset 4. But it says Warren Whittle's catch in the first inning. First inning saved the day.
Well, he actually, and we laugh about this to this day. Like tonight, this is Thursday, and we're going to be bowling tonight with this girl and my wife, and we do a lot together. And to this day, he still talks about the Somerset game because the headline of the paper, it said Whitey. This is Sunday paper. Whitey gloves Somerset. So he went out and got stacks of papers,
Yeah.
and he was going. But he did. He made a couple circus catches, like Willie Mays style, and he threw a couple people out. And I pitched that game. I had nothing. I had no zip on the fastball. I just kind of willed my way. I made it to the beginning of the 8th inning, and then Bob came in and did it.
Yeah, what I have here is the bottom of the 8th, Danny Furbish, the pinch hitters, Danny Furbish and Tom Power single, Casey Lyman sacrifice fly, Roma singles and insurance. And first inning, Whitey Whittle saves the game in the first inning. But I guess they were scoring then, and it
first inning. And I remember
Like-
it distinctly. I'm just going like, wow, what am I going to do here on the mound? My arm was not the best, and they were barreling up pretty well, and they hit a couple bombs. And if they fell, and they probably should have
off
fell,
to the races, yeah.
that game they probably would have took off. But a few runners on, and I think he ran, many yards back and made a crazy catch, and the game could have got out of hand quick. But that's what we did.
Whatever it took.
Someone made a play.
So we're off to Watertown, to Viceroy Field,
Victory.
Victory Field, and we're playing North Reading.
Yeah. And once again, they were, in that area, they were known as the powerhouse. They had a coach who was well known. They had a pitcher who did pitch against us. He had just got drafted by the Texas Rangers. And they also, they had yellow uniforms, and they dressed all the JV team as well as their team. So they showed up with like a football team.
Power in numbers here.
They tried. It was like an intimidation, but wrong team. We weren't there to, that didn't impress us at all. We were ready to go.
Well, I have here 2-1. If I have this correct, end of the game, the catcher, Danny Clifford, throw Roma, the pitcher, they throw the lineman for a pickoff play at the end of the game.
So it's
This is the state championship.
So it's a 2-1 game
Yeah.
in the 9th inning. Okay, Bob's running on fumes, and usually I would come in and relieve him, but at this point, my arm is toast. So I just said I cannot. We're better with Bob throwing than me trying to throw. Bob is our best.
Yeah, put the ego aside. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the W here, and so it actually brings you back to practice. In April on the field, in the 40 degrees or 35 degrees, and we ran first and third plays over and over and over and over and over, and to the point of, and then we did them the next day. But so here we are. Now it's 2-1. It's the 9th inning. It's 2 outs. It's first and third. They throw a pinch runner in, and if in high school baseball, you know what's going to happen. That run on first is going to take off. He might get himself in a pickle.
Yeah.
He might he's going to steal, and what is the defense going to do? We're ready. We have like 4 or 5 plays we can do. In the 3rd inning, they tried it. I cut the ball off, threw the guy out at the plate, and that was that. Well, now it's the 9th inning. So our coach,
Men on first and third.
First and third, 9th inning, our Coach Doyle calls a play, and it was colors. I think he did like a yellow or something. So I'm at short, and I go to the second baseman. I go, holy you know what. He's going to throw it. Danny's going to throw it, not to the pitcher, like he's going to throw it to second. But the pitcher, this play, Bob has to jump.
Oh, so it's up there, yeah.
He has to jump and grab the ball, and then he has to make an assessment. Do I hold the ball? Is anyone is the guy going to go off third?
Where's the movement, yeah.
Am I going to throw it home?
Yeah.
So sure enough, the pitch gets thrown, the batter doesn't hit it, everyone yells, he's going. I run in like I'm going to cut, the ball gets thrown, and it is a bullet. It's not a little, it's as hard as he can throw it. Bob jumps up, and he got off the ground, catches the ball, and I think being a lefty might have helped him, I don't know. But he caught it, and he looked at third. The guy at third took 3 running steps down the line, stopped quick because the pitcher caught it, and then he started to scramble back. Bob threw it to third. Right as he put his hand in, the ball was there, and that was the end of the game.
State championship.
Yep, we're running, throwing, jumping up and down. Game over. It was one heck of a way to win, and I go back, there was no luck involved. That was preparation, thanks to our coach, and it was us just executing the job, because that ball the catcher threw looked like it was going to second. There was no doubt that ball was
Faked him
thrown
out,
at 90 miles an hour.
So how was that bus ride home?
It was, I thought the roof was going to come off that. And there was 2 busloads of parents. So we had a full house of parents and students. And then when we hit the town line, the fire truck picked us up, and the police cars and all the whistles and bells, and it was crazy. It was crazy.
Okay, well, Aiden, if we can, let's see, what do we have here? There we go. So let's go over who the players were and what we had. First row, Pete Williamson, played outfield.
Can I say one thing about Pete?
You can say anything you want.
He might have saved the day in that 2-1 game, too.
Okay.
He played right field, and every hit count, 2-1 game, and there was a hit to him in right field that went about 8 feet off the ground, and it was just going if Pete did not catch this ball, it was going to be a home run easily. And there was we would have went behind, and Pete took one step in, and I was at short, and I was like, no! But he just kind of did a jump, caught the ball, threw it in. And that's another thing my friend Weddy and I talk about, like, wow, Pete saved the day on that one. You know, it was a very, very quality play. And again, someone stepped up and did the job.
The next player, we've talked about this fella, Casey Lyman. He was your third baseman, you said?
Yeah, the other co-captain, Glenn, broke his leg. He couldn't play the last
Glenn Flanagan was the co-captain.
6 or 7 games, and Casey stepped in, and he went to third, and I was at third, and I went to short.
So
Casey made the plays. He was a very good athlete. Maybe baseball wasn't he was a good football player. He made the plays, and he got some big hits.
And he had to. Next we have Tom Wolfenton.
Second baseman.
Second base.
Very steady.
Then we have some guy we've named here, Warren Whitey Whittles. And there he is, right there, number 24. I don't know.
No, he we both live for playing baseball, and we loved it. And when times got tough, he answered the call.
The reward was there. Glenn Flanagan, your co-captain, who I didn't realize broke his leg and wasn't playing.
No, and Glenn was he was a great athlete as well.
Carl Oberg, co-captain.
Yep.
Then we have Bob Roma, you're the other pitcher.
There he is. Nope.
Mike Coles, first baseman.
Mike Coles, great athlete, football, basketball, but he was lefty hitter, and if he happened to hit a chopper, like up the middle, he was going to get a single. His first 2 or 3 steps out of the box, he was gone. And he would routinely get singles like that.
Now maybe you can help me on the next one. It's the last fellow in the first row. All they say is K. Newton. I couldn't find him in the scorebook. I couldn't find him anywhere.
Kenny was always a good athlete, but he had something going on where he had to stop playing baseball.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So he made the team, but I think he had to bow out.
But he made the picture. Yeah, good.
Yep.
In your back row, we had Jan Gibo, your assistant coach.
Yep.
That particular
Coach
year.
Gibo, everyone knows him.
Gibo. Chuck Hillier played infield. He's next to the coach.
Yeah, did a great
Teddy
job.
Jasevich, he would have been one of the younger players.
Yeah, he was a backup center fielder.
Dave Morrill.
Dave Morrill, yep.
And then you got your catcher, Danny Clifford.
Yep.
And then you got your Danny Furbish, who pitched some good games. And
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got in there spotty and always answered the bell. Did a great job.
Tom Donovan, we talked about him, 4-0
And
for the season.
he was also the backup catcher.
Sean Arnold,
Yep.
infield.
Another good player, backup first baseman.
Tom Power, outfield.
Yeah, he played left field.
And John Doyle,
There he is.
your coach that
Yep,
whipped you guys into shape.
the legend. Yep.
The legends. So we give honor to all these players. 1980 brought Westborough the first state championship to the high school. So what's next, Aiden? We got some more. There we go.
Yep.
So remember that guy?
Yep.
So I don't know what game it is, but that's you, I guess.
Yep.
I don't know. Can you tell by your hand what you were pitching there? Fastball?
Well, I don't have my finger on the balls,
Yeah.
so I think I'm probably going to throw some off-speed stuff.
Off-speed, yeah.
Yeah.
So there he is in action, and I don't know. Here we got some of your players on the bench.
Yep. We got Glenn to the left, and Danny Clifford, Sean Arnold, Casey Lyman, and Teddy Jasevich to the far right.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, next, and there I think this is when it really counted.
We had just won that state championship right there. So it's Bob Romer and Danny Clifford and myself. I tell you what, that was just what a time, And when you look back and you say it was high school and what does it really matter? Well, to us,
well, it was
everything.
It was the World Series.
We still talk about it, and it started like improbable, but I know a bunch of us knew we refused to lose.
And you did.
Yeah.
And there we go, some more.
Yep. It's Peter.
Yeah.
Peter Williamson.
So that was a good. And there we are accepting the trophy.
Yeah.
And this was a scorebook. The scorebooks are still there.
Yep.
June 21st. That's the scorebook from the championship game.
Yes, it is.
And June 21st, 1980, Westborough High School baseball champs.
Yep.
And let's see, and this here, Let's bring out, Cal, can you get the, this is the trophy.
That must be the back of the trophy.
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
Wow.
Yeah, just hold it. This is the trophy. And anybody there, whether it be the school committee or we got a loose screw. This is held on by tape.
A two-way
Looks like
tape
it's
there.
been through the Johnstown flood or something.
Yeah.
Anybody that's in a restoration, this is the trophy that you just saw in the picture. The high school has it.
No, you live in town, I know, and I used to.
Yeah.
With all the taxes in town, you can't get a little buff job on this thing?
I would hope so. So maybe somebody can help us out. But that's the
This is it.
trophy.
Yep.
And then, if we go back it up for a sec, Hayden, this you had you were inducted into the Hall of Fame, the team, and you are we breaking it up?
Yeah, I think I
So
did.
we had the fellows that were there, the team members that were there, autograph it, and then you can see the missing players were down below.
Yeah.
But they had that all autographed, so that was.
Yeah.
And I see Carl Oberg, number 2 up in the left-hand corner, and we have number 2. The jersey is right here. That jersey is not going anywhere. It's staying there. So congratulations to the 1980 team. What do we have anything else here, Aiden? Oh yeah, then we have citations from the Commonwealth. This was Mike Connolly was the Secretary of the Commonwealth back in 1980. From him, again, maybe some work can be done on this to help restore it a little bit. The next one, Ed King was the governor.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
If you remember Ed, Michael Dukakis was the governor before Ed King.
Okay.
And Ed King, apparently there was some corruption, so Michael Dukakis became governor after him. So a little political trivia.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So Ed King was the governor. He sent you that. And then we have the town of Westborough giving a proclamation.
I saw that.
Ray Welsh was the chairman at that time.
Yep.
Richard Foster was on the select board, and Richard Foster was a big baseball fan, member of SABA, Society of American Baseball Research. And Alan Dodd, whose son later, Tim Dodd, would become a select on the select board.
They also presented us with jackets.
I say, yeah.
Yeah, really nice jackets, and we still have those. So they did throw some money on that, quality ones. So
I think that's it.
That was nice.
So that's that. Now, Carl Oberg, co-captain, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Oh,
Now,
my
I've
pleasure.
never done this before, but I know you're into collectibles.
yes.
Okay? So this is something that if you put it on eBay, you might get a nickel. I don't know if you'll get a nickel, but this is a Paul McGrath baseball card when I played for the Boston Red Sox in their fantasy league.
Nice.
So there it is. It's got to be worth at least a nickel.
Well, I would like you to sign it.
Well, I can sign that. Okay, we'll sign it. Maybe we'll find that. But this is
Well,
yours.
thank you
Thanks for
very
being on.
much.
Carl Oberg, co-captain, the 1980
You were young back then,
Westborough
huh?
High School. Yeah. They Photoshop all this stuff. 1980 Westborough High Baseball Championship team, first team in Westborough High School history to win a state championship. So, Carl, thanks again.
Thank you.
Going down memory lane,
Yeah, it's fun.
back in the time machine. This is Paul McGrath saying, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you at the game. And if you're not in the game, I hope to see you on the sidelines.